All right, today I have Corey here with me, Ron Rougeaux, of course, and Corey.
Howdy, howdy.
So we're going to go ahead and talk some real estate today. It's been, at least in my mind, it's been busy. It's been up and down, left and right. No one really knows what's going on unless you've been selling or buying, I guess.
Yeah, it's not it's not your typical market, and I have been busy as well. But there's some attributes that I've changed in my business that have created more work for me. But and for all that may not know, is I started a general contracting business where I'm licensed and bonded, insured. But what I have found that
Which he's phenomenal, by the way. So don't let you get, he's modest. He's really good at what he does.
that's my secondary business. But in the realm of real estate, what I have found is there are still people out there selling. There are still people out there buying. And that secondary business has really just kind of created more work for me in real estate and, of course, with general contracting. So,
Well, that's a good segue.
yeah, it's just a smaller niche of people that I think are currently still working in this different market.
Well, yeah, I mean, one, we're busy, but I meant segue is because we are busy because of contractors and real estate brokers. And how I mean that is most buyers right now don't want anything dated. And if they do want it dated, we literally, Corey just listened to me have a 30-minute phone call with another client while he waited patiently, looking up to 1.5 million. And she doesn't want anything, I mean, she doesn't, if it's dated, she's going to remodel the whole thing because she has a particular style, which we all have our own styles, or it needs to be exactly the way she wants. And the problem is we don't really have that down here in Olympia. I mean, we don't really have the updated ones. If we do, they fly off the market and they're gone. If they're dated, it needs to have, and actually I kind of agree with her, it needs to have the same aspect of, hey, you like the outside, you like the home layout, now you can bring in a contractor and remodel.
Yeah, it's definitely if you're a buyer that wants a home that's remodeled, and that's what we're seeing is people in this market right now that are looking to buy want something that's already been remodeled. Whether or not they like all the finishes, that may not be the case, but it's also expensive.
Granite's gone. I've heard that time and time again, though. Granite's gone. Sorry to interrupt.
No, and
do not do granite, whatever you do. Oh,
it's
I threw you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's just the buyers. The buyers are wanting to have a home that had some improvements.
Clean floor.
Yep.
Clean walls, paint, siding done, move-in ready. And if it's not done there, and even if it's clean, and by clean, again, clean floors, brand new floors, new paint, kitchen, everything else, bathrooms can be dated. If they're clean, that's fine. And if it's move-in ready, then they'll come in and remodel kitchens and baths and this and that. And they may not even. But if it's not...
Yeah, and even if it's not, again, that's where buyers, because it costs a lot of money to remodel homes and do those things.
Yep.
So they're hoping that a seller will, one, either have it already done, or two, give some kind of credit to have that done because they don't have the extra funds to do that. Now, as a seller, you might look at it as like, well, that's not my problem. Well, it kind of is if you're the seller in this market. Things are sitting longer. You could choose to be like, I'm not going to do any of that and just let it sit. And that's nothing against the seller for wanting to stick to their guns on that. I'll support you all day long if that's what you choose to do.
Same. Absolutely.
It's just know that you're probably going to sit longer. And example is I had a listing that sat for 6 months over our deadest time, and at the final hour we got it under contract. But a lot of those comments were like, it's outdated.
Yep.
I don't like this because it's outdated.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. And nonetheless, it sold, but it sat for 6 months.
And I think he brings up a good point. Corey, brings up a good point is we're back into those times, 2012s, 2014s, where our contracts for our listings would go 6 months or a year contract because it would take up to 6 months to a year to sell the home. We're back in those headwinds or trade winds when we're there. And I just had, Corey listened again. Corey's been great sport. A comment up north that showing the home, and she's like, why what did your client think of the home? One, they never answered my call before I went to go look at the home. Called me back 2 weeks later. Hey, what did you think of the home? I'm like, wow, good job. Won't go there. But they asked what's wrong with the home. Completely outdated, completely in the mix of the market that every home around it's outdated, trying to mix it with the price, and there's just no way. So they're either going to sit there. I mean, she asked, what do you recommend? And I gave her a few solutions that I thought would help. But at the end of the day, it comes down to price, comes down to the market. Does anybody want to be out there? And with that outdated house, and you're just going to sit. You're going to wait for the right buyer, and you're going to be stuck there. So, I mean, I don't know how I'm trying to explain that, I guess, in a nice way. Either lower the price if you want to get it gone, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you don't want to get it gone, you're going to be sitting there, and you're going to be waiting for that right price for that right buyer, and you're going to be waiting for 6 months. In reality, and it's crazy because we come from a mentality these last 3-5 years of,
if it's on,
if it's on longer than a month, 2 months, what's that listing agent doing wrong? And we're back in the times now where it's, I mean, I just sold one that was on forever. I have another one that's been on for months. And we're finally getting some traction, but we've gone down this far, and now we may have an offer and it'll go pending. And that's kind of the world and the market we're in. So if you're not hitting those certain numbers, and if you're not priced right, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's absolutely right. And anybody that's been thinking about selling, you may, generally what I find, people kind of pay attention to what the market's doing. And we all wish or hope that we were in that market where things would just immediately sell. And so...
Oh, that's going to be interest rates.
With that said, yeah, the interest rates have changed. They're gone up. So things, again, are setting where our inventory is super low. But going back to the point of how long you're going to sit, it all depends on how motivated how motivated you are to sell your home and how quickly you want to sell your home. Because if you want to sell it quickly, then you really got to make those upgrades, and you have to price aggressively, meaning you probably are going to have to price less than you want. That way you can bring in as much foot traffic as you can, because there are still places getting multiple offers if it's priced right.
There are. And I mean, I'm finding that too. And you also got to remember your price category. So the whole point of this video today is this video, podcast, YouTube, everything combined is we're going to go over what's going on in the market right now, upgrades, contracting, different agents. There's so much we're going to go over. But you're right. If you have a certain price area, like the 400s to 500s right now, are flying off the market. If you're under 400 or 500, you're flying off if it's clean and done and ready, depending on the area, because the lower income's still going. I see the higher income, above $1 million plus, flying off the market. I've been watching them go pending, at least down here in Olympia. Now the in-between of 600 to $1 million, 600, 800,000 depends. The new home builds, like you can buy the Richmond homes over here for 700,000 and they're 3,500 square feet, golf course, cookie cutter, but people are eating those up because they're brand new, they're cookie cutter, and they don't care. So, and it depends if you...
Builders are offering pretty good incentives too right
with
now.
Interest rates.
Yeah. Buying down points.
Oh my goodness. And so it depends on what you're looking for. So you have to take it into a factor of what's your price, what's your area, where you're looking for. You got to remember, Corey and I are selling a lot. There's a lot of agents that aren't. And they're just not busy. And we do residential, commercial, land development, like everything across the board. And so we are extremely busy with everything of that category, and investors and of categories and investors as well, that we get calls. We haven't stopped taking phone calls since we've been here. Our phones are silenced so we can make the video today. So let's digress. So back into it. If your home's not remodeled, that's fine. If it's as is, just be prepared, longer hold time unless it's priced right in certain areas and certain price locations, I think is a nice way to sum it up.
Yeah, and
as of now.
As of lately, I've been really listing a lot of homes that are more, in general, you would consider more country, and those homes are obviously going to sit a little bit longer, as well as the ones that are near your city limits. But even so, some of them are in the Shelton, Mason County area. But
so I was going to bring up a point because I want to spin off on this. Sorry, interject. What do you think's happening now with the market? So this is fun because we can talk real estate all day, but let's talk demographics, marketing, movement, people, all that fun stuff. I have a feeling people are now moving from the country back to the city again. At least that's my input. Although I see some people wanting to go country because they're worried about, I kid you not, EMPs and survival and country and gardens and all that fun stuff. So it's torn, but I see a lot of people coming back to the cities away from the country because that was maybe a thought back in the day in COVID. And
yeah, I think there's a few aspects in my opinion as far as COVID. When COVID happened and everybody started working from home, all these people were like, hey, I can work anywhere now as long as I have good internet service.
Yep.
And so now they're like, we're gonna move, and work remotely, and move to the country. And I think in some aspects, some people kind of made a rash decision when that comes to it. And you know that firsthand with one of your listings that
it did sell.
Yeah,
it finally.
And I just made a video about this.
They were the sweetest couple too.
Yeah, and I just made a video about this. Like, living in the country can be fantastic, but if you grew up in the city and never researched or spent any time in the country, there's a lot of aspects to living in the country that you may not know or even considered when you buy. So, not to go into that far and deeply, but.
So what do you think? Let's do that. We are going to dive in. We have time. What do you think the main aspects are? Country living, would you say, if you're coming from a city, let's really dive in. New York City, slick shoes, nice watch, have no clue, I'm moving to the freaking country. Maybe upstate New York for those folks out in New York, Chicago going down south, or Minnesota, or for us coming from Seattle out in the country. What would you say?
I think that we are having this flux again where during COVID, we had those people moving to the country. Now we have those people like, I don't like this.
But what would you say their things are for moving the country? Like, what are they going to hit that they don't even understand or expect?
Oh, well, yeah. So if you move to the country, my mind is if you're moving to the country and if I'm taking into consideration your specific listing,
yes,
it is way out there.
Yeah,
like,
but
way out there means
but
like.
If you're a New York City slicker, what are you going to expect? Like, what do you have to deal with?
It's going to be, well, you may have this perception that it's like, oh, peace and quiet. Yeah, you're going to have the peace and quiet, but you're also going to have generally, you're going to have bad internet service.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have a long travel distance to get to town. And then if you throw in wintertime, whether or not you get a lot of snow or not, depending on where you're at, if you get snow, good luck driving. Good luck getting there, because generally those out of touch places.
Oh, you lose power.
You don't have a snow plow that comes through and does your road.
Oh yeah, and quiet. They're shooting out there. A lot of people do this gun shooting.
You have country folks that like to go shoot their guns, and
lawn mowing. Did we hit lawn mowing?
You got a lot of acreage that you got to maintain. All of
he
those
knows
things,
because I borrowed his lawnmower for my lawn.
all of those things. I love all those things, but not everybody likes to do all that stuff, and I get it. It's like,
well, it's solitude. If you want to run to the store, just for anything, you forget one thing, you're a 45-minute to an hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, maybe it's 20-minute to the country bunking, like, I don't know.
The tractor wheel or whatever.
Yeah,
it seems like that's what they call it. But
so if you hit all that, is there anything else they should think of? Like, okay, you're out in the country, internet, service, power, road, what else do they hit? I'm trying to think.
Well, look at the positive side. You do have the seclusion. You do have the privacy generally.
Okay.
You do have the ability to see the stars at night in the summer.
Oh, no shit. It's amazing.
I don't know why this is a thing, but maybe because I just, I didn't know enough people that lived in the city and never seen the stars before, which sounds really crazy to say, but like, there's been a lot of people that I've talked to, like, yeah, I've never actually like seen the full sky of stars.
Oh no, even here we can. It's beautiful.
Right. And it's because we have less light pollution. But the further you get out, so these are all positive things. The further you get out into the country,
I look at them every time. I do the garbage and I'm watching, I'm looking at all the stars. I'm like, oh, there's Big Dipper, Small Dipper. I'm like,
yeah, but if you get into, say, like, you go to Banff and stuff like that, if you're out in the middle and you look up in a clear sky.
Well, it's a whole different world.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah. And we still have a lot of light pollution, but country out there, I think you're right. So the positives are good. There is negatives. I think it's what you take of it. I think a lot of city folk, here's my mind, is you don't have the yoga 5 minutes away. You don't have the coffee shop 5 minutes away. You don't have whatever else you're looking to do from my mind, different bars, restaurants, Uber Eats, anything. There's nothing out in the country.
Amazon, you're generally not going to get an overnight delivery.
No, I saw the Amazon. Actually, when I was leaving that one listing way out in the country, the Amazon guy came and dropped the bags across the gate and just left them right there. He wasn't going to walk up to the other property. I don't know.
And these all may sound like silly things, but they're things to consider. I think for me, ultimately, and what I said in my video that I made previously was like, make sure you're doing your due diligence and you're making those pros and cons checklists, because
Internet and cell phone for sure.
Yeah, if you're planning on working remotely, remember, not every place has really great service.
Starlink did help my clients sell the place, because Starlink, they were getting 100 megabytes per second, and it actually was going a little faster than that once it started acquiring the satellite and getting used to it. So Starlink was great. He did raise his prices. What the fuck's his name? Whatever.
Elon Musk.
Elon, thank you. Which is fine, and you could throw your cell phone on that, but still, it was country where it was slow service, this and that. And to be honest, I loved it. They had a creek and a river going behind it. You were out there living God's country and go get lost in the woods. You can hunt behind it, and actually you had hundreds of acres behind it. And the young couple that bought it, he worked for the Forestry Service and they were in hog heaven. And they actually had a few people come in, and I started seeing 5-6 people come in the open house that we hadn't had last year. So I guess I should retract my thing that I'm saying more people are coming to the city. I think it's more people are kind of really getting picky on what they're choosing, I guess. It's starting to get more narrow niched. Is that a better way to say it?
And I think there's just that distribution, because we had, like I was saying in COVID, we had this immediate like, I don't have to stay in the city. I can go.
Yep.
And so these people just jumping on the wagon and taking off, and then they're not realizing like,
Oregon Trail style.
I don't like this.
Oregon. Sorry.
So now we're hitting these people that moved into these places, and they're like, I want to get back to the city life and what I like, and we're getting the people that are in the city that want either we're from country or want to be country, just swapping basically.
Yep.
Just a swap of like getting back to what they're used
Starting to realize back to country.
Yeah.
And it was funny because when COVID happened, I had investors, and I told them everybody left New York. I said, invest in New York, buy in New York. Now New York's gone to shit, but everybody came back like a year and a half later, and people made some money, and then it's gone all wonky again.
And more companies are making people come back to the work site too. Yeah. So that's,
although offices, commercial, tanking. Like if you see that, don't even touch commercial offices if you're not. I think niche market here. Let's jump into that real quick. Yeah. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm really good at that. Commercial market right now, because I'm seeing, residential is one thing, our commercial market is tough right now. It's tanking. If your office space, it's tanking. I'm seeing stuff being listed left and right. I'm seeing retail actually doing okay, but it's hit and miss on retail. Most of it's being torn down and rebuilt because the old stuff is just crap in a nice way. And it's hard to lease stuff. Like people are not wanting to lease anything. So it has to be brand new. As a home, same thing.
Upgrades.
People want the brand new homes. People want the brand new buildings to lease. They don't want the old stuff unless they're being cheap, and you're leasing it for really cheap and you're not making any money. And I think that's the commercial, and all the loans are coming to due. The interest rates are high again. Remember the one commercial building? You guys will like this. One commercial building you and I saw, the 2-story one that was over by Dirty Dave's down the road.
Yeah.
Still for sale.
Yeah.
Yet the guy said he didn't need to sell. Wasn't worried, yada, yada, yeah. Gave Corey and I how many stories about didn't need to sell this and that, and he may see this, so I'm sorry. Real estate broker that owns it, it's same price, hasn't lowered it, and still there for sale.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean
that was a year ago.
There's quite a few places that you see for sale or lease, and though there are companies making people come back to the brick and mortar, but I think that's more of like the smaller business types that just have found they don't actually need to have a brick and mortar. Yeah. With the amount of technology that we have now and shipping and all that other stuff, you really don't need.
So I'm torn because I like having an office. I like having the brick and mortar. Yeah. I do. I am torn because I like having that place. People can go and see you. It gets you out of the home office, gets you focused, and then you don't have to be there. I always preach, don't be in the office. don't, because if you have the office and you're there, you're not working. You should be out showing homes, showing buyers, doing listings. But when you come back, you should be at the office working. And so I'm torn because I kind of contradict myself a lot with that saying, but it takes you from the home spot of here you can PlayStation, nap, fishing, go. I mean, just I can start building. I keep building sheds and buildings, and it's like, how many buildings do I need to build on my property? Because I'm like, I'm gonna build an RV just so I can distract my stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more distractions at home, and sure, it's great to be able to work at home, but there is an aspect of being able to get together with our team and being like, hey, what about this? What do you think about this? And or learning new things, kind of like what we did today with learning about AI.
Oh yeah, huge.
You know, so it's really just.
Well, why don't you touch base on that AI?
Well, it's a completely different topic, but.
Well, no, sorry. Let's finish this. See, we're jumping around. Go ahead. We'll finish with the jumping around, the office, and then we'll do that. Because the AI, I don't want to miss either.
Yeah,
that was huge.
Just the AI, or excuse me, the in-office stuff that I appreciated was that we come together and we our minds, we put our minds together and figure out what's been working for each other and what new things we may have learned, and sharing that, and then advancing that knowledge further to benefit us. And when we're not together, we're just kind of going off of our own opinions and our own trial and error, really. True. And because while I'm at home, maybe I just picked up something new to me, and then Ron's been doing it for a couple weeks now, and he's like, this is garbage, and I'm like, this looks pretty good. Now I've wasted my time to do all this.
That's true. Yeah.
And so there's a benefit to having that office space, and so
plus it's nice to sit and just spitball. Like when we sit in front of the computer, and we were just like we were doing today, just sitting there, just rolling with it.
Yeah. So maybe maybe we'll see more people just kind of having this auxiliary office space that's really just for teams and gatherings of the mind, if you will.
And if you say we work, I'm going to shoot you because I freaking hate those places. I'm sorry.
Oh, the one that we're
oh my God.
part of.
I mean, and don't get us wrong, but you do need a physical building where you can sit and actually do that without being this kind of satellite whatever. And I think Corey's spot on though, because you sit and you spitball, you roll, like we talk to each other, we tell each other about the deals and the experiences and what we've been doing, and can you believe this, can you believe that, here's what's been going on, and you take it all and you put it all in a nice package, and it helps you build up your brand, your company, and everything else. Without passing that knowledge around, I think you're a one-man team. Let's do this as a kind of a theme today, is the Oregon Trail, because coming from New York, going west during COVID and this and that, same thing. Oregon Trail, you were so much stronger in a pack wagon with your team. You can round up the wagons during the Oregon Trail at night and whatnot with your team, and you can all share information. Hey, don't touch that cactus. Hey, don't drink that water. Don't freaking touch that snake and this and that. As a one-time person, you're a mountain man. You're coming across the West as a mountain man. You're having to watch yourself for grizzly bears, this and that. You don't have any knowledge. You don't have any information. You got one musket compared to the Oregon Trail where you have 10 muskets trying to shoot, or I guess they had lever actions during the Oregon Trail, or no, they have muskets still?
I don't recall, but
I think they still had muskets because Civil War was 1860, so it would have been muskets still. Oregon Trail, yes, muskets, right? No, they did have. Shit.
All I know is that human beings are better suited to be as a pack.
Should I reference Yellowstone? Shit, I'm gonna hate that. My dad's gonna be like, "You don't know your guns." Fuck. Sorry.
No, but human beings in general are better suited as a pack, and we function better as a pack. Now, that doesn't mean that you always have to be together. It just means taking experiences, personal experiences, and sharing them with others only creates a bigger knowledge base of what's around you. So back to the office thing, that is an aspect that I miss. Sure, we could do it in our house like we've done here, but again, my me here working with you is different than you working in your own home, because now you still have those distractions because it's your house.
Yeah.
Same thing if we were at my house, I'd have these distractions of like, I'm looking out my yard like, shit, I need to go pick up those branches. I need to, so it just gets your mindset different in that work mode of like, let's knock this stuff
Well,
out.
and more people come too. So you're not just one or two. And we have more office people that come. And so that's kind of our branch, is get back to the office. So we're going to focus back on that this year, as well as reset up a new office and kind of get going that direction also, which is huge. And so I think we've needed that. And it's a nice thing to have. I don't think it's full time. I don't like office fees either. I see a lot of agents and companies charging office fees. And so that's one of our big goals, is no office fees again. Because I see multiple people doing office fees, and I hate that. Well, wait, now I have to pay an office fee to come here and this and that. And that was my one thing to get rid of. And so that's my main goal as well, is get rid of the whole office fees and everything and just say, hey, here's the office. It's all of us. Let's do it together. But let's just hang out and not have to worry or stress and have to pay for stuff. So that's what I like as well. Okay, so because I distracted with AI, let's touch base on that briefly.
Yeah.
I'll let you start. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as I'm brainstorming at home, I'm always trying to think about how can I make my business more fluid and more self-sustaining. And there's all these little gadgets and things that you can spend a bunch of money on, and all the books and stuff that I've been reading and listening to is basically telling me you don't need to pay for all that garbage. Like, you don't have to do all that with the technology that we have. Sure, there are apps out there that are AI that you have to pay for, but it's like minimal amount of money. Like, one of the apps I'm looking at maybe buying into is $9 a month.
Which is huge. That was a good one.
Yeah. And so I'd pay that all day long over, say, Zillow leads, which is like astronomically insane.
Well, they all want a minimum of like $500 a month now.
And
Isn't that crazy?
It's
$500 a month where we can buy 5 AI apps for $10 each a month, have 5 amazing AI apps at $50 a month compared to Zillow, which is $500. And I guarantee you, if we did stats, we would destroy Zillow with our AI apps.
Yeah, and I'm still learning it. I'm not a professional with AI by no means, and I'm still learning it. And the things that I'm learning about AI and what it can do for our business, personally and team-wise, is like, it's unlimited at this point. Because if you tap into that and you really use it to its full ability, you can. And this is kind of bad because a lot of people are looking at AI like it's going to cut jobs. It is going to cut jobs. Because I can use AI to do a lot of the things that I would generally hire somebody to do, and I can do it in seconds.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
It is. I will say one downfall I've been seeing is, I didn't tell you this yet. I wrote a bad email because I had some issues with actually our website. And so I wrote an email and I said 0.123, and this is the issues I had. Send it. I get an email back, automated AI, and you can tell it's AI because it didn't hit any of my key points but the last one. And it hit, oh, we love that you love our website. And I'm like, well, first of all, excuse me, I shouldn't say, like, that's not what I said. So it totally misread the main thing. And then it hit on the points at the bottom. It says, oh, we will have someone talk to you about this and this and this. And so it just immediately pissed me off because it wasn't someone reading it. It was AI generated response. No one's followed up since that. And that was 2 days ago, which even ticks me off more. So now you had an AI follow up on my generated response. Wasn't even correctly done. No one personally has followed up now. And so immediately puts a bad taste. So I think Corey's right. I love AI. So I'm a huge proponent of evolve or die. And I've been preaching that in real estate for years and always have. And now I've been saying it not with just AI, but I've been saying it with real estate companies, with how you market, with how you sell your homes, with how you build your homes, buy your home, everything. We always should be evolving. We should always be developing, doing better. I mean, building homes, look at it. The products out there now, over 3-4 years ago, even 5-6 years ago, are amazing to build a home. So many different products now. Like this home I built here, we got under contract. We had an offer for 3.1 million, and we didn't take it. And I would rebuild this home again with 10 times better material all around, every which direction I could go. And it's the same in every different aspect. And AI is fine, but you still have to watch it.
Yeah.
You have to monitor responses like that.
And that's very much true. And that's everything I've been learning about it is like, yes, AI can do all this, but you need to make sure that you're monitoring it so that it fits you and your business model and ethics of what it's sending out. So if you wanted to type something up for you, read it. You got to read it.
Well, I was pissed that our website company just completely, I still have to email them back. So sorry, I didn't mean to. That was probably not for the podcast, but it's real life. This is the whole point of this video, is to actually speak about bullshit.
Yeah, there's a ton of arguments out there as to why AI should not be used and why it should be and why it's unethical and blah, blah, blah. I get all that. My stance is that I will use AI, but I will also make sure I'm vetting it to make sure that it fits with my personality, my ethics, what I want to portray to people. And because if I'm not, then I'm not really promoting myself. I'm promoting a fake idea, and that's not me. So,
and that's not who we are. And that's the whole point why Corey and I are so successful, is because we are genuine. We're straightforward, honest, and this is who you get. And so we'll use AI for certain items, but you will get us 100%. And so I think that's huge with vetting. So that's what ticked me off with the other person. It just cued it into me of like, we really need to watch and monitor this. And to have this big company not monitor and watch that drives me crazy. And I've seen it again. And actually, I made a mistake of making an AI post, and I didn't edit one of the things. And at the end of the day, I could have just wrote the post. And so ChatGPT, to me, my eyes, is kind of archaic now. It's crazy.
Well, it is. ChatGPT was like the OG of AI, and there's so many other apps out there now, or programs out there that are AI ran, and they're by far exceeding ChatGPT.
It's kind of like the old school way now. So AI, we love it. We'll use it. We'll use it for marketing. We'll tell you, if you're a real estate agent, how we're using it. We'll tell you, if you're a buyer or seller, how we're actually using it to help you find homes, locations in different places. We're very careful, and we won't replace it for us. There's no way. At least myself, I'm very old school. I wanted to be Jeremiah Johnson, Mountain Man, back in the day, so I can't get past that of replacing it. My favorite rifle was a Red Hawk, 50 caliber flintlock. But anyways, after AI, what do you think's kind of this next kind of progression with real estate? Because we see a shift in people, we see remodels, not remodels, we have AI. What do you kind of see the whole overall shift? Because most people, if you've lasted this long in the podcast and video, congratulations. I mean, cheers, have a drink, because you've done well. We'll have a drink with you. This is Gatorade only. And if you have questions on what you want to hear us talk about, we'll talk about anything. We'll go through anything. There's 2 or 3 things. Oh, let me jump on this point before we jump to the next thing. I am seeing a lot of people scream, if you use AI, you'll sell 100 homes and this and that. And it drives me fucking insane. I'm sorry to cuss, but it does. And look, AI is meant to help you, but to be honest, people are buying or selling homes because of the real estate brokers. And
more and more buyers today and sellers are reading more reviews than, they're basing their decision on being able to research you on the internet and read about who you are as an individual. So that's why this is kind of a caveat to this. But
I sparked them up. I like this.
more and more people are reading reviews about who you are. But there's been this argument of like, don't post personal things about you on your business website. That's nonsense, because people want to know who you are, not who that business person is. Because so many people, well, I shouldn't say so many people. I have seen people that portray themselves one way as a business and completely different person as
Could you imagine?
in a personal level. And
I'm sorry, this is who we are. So that's what pisses me off is
Yeah.
this is what you get.
I want you to know who I am. I'll be almost to a fault. I'll share probably more than you ever want to know if I feel comfortable with you. If I don't,
I don't think it's a fault. I think Corey has a most genuine, safe, controlled, straightforward person you'll get. And you know what you're getting. And it's the honest truth. And so when you go and look at a home, here's your pros, here's your cons. There's no hidden motive. There's nothing else. It's business oriented and it's straightforward and honest. And that's the beauty of it. The problem is, in my mind sometimes you'll get people that go to that peacock chest, shiny gold chain bullshit, yada, yada, here's all this stuff. And great, go to that. And it's like any other used car salesman, and that's not what we're selling. So if that's what you're looking for, that's not us. It never will be us, and we don't do that. And I think sometimes that's why we have to make these videos and keep making them, is because we have to sell ourselves on who we are and our style. And this is organic as you get. Our cats are running around. Our cats, it sounds like gay now, sorry. Nothing wrong with that. Just watch the Seinfeld episode. Shit. But the cats are running around, and it's pouring out rain, and we've been working all day, and this is who we are. And so just spitballing, there's no script behind us. This is legitimately what we're selling. Wouldn't this be a hell of a script?
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, we're flying by the seat of our pants, but for sure, no, that's really what I want people to see me is for who I am, and not something that they have questions about whether or not I am who they see, if that makes sense. Like, who I am is who I try to portray myself no matter what.
Correct.
And I don't try to be something else. That doesn't fly with me, and I don't appreciate others that do that. Whether or not it works for them, that's up to them, but that's not my style. So.
Correct. And so that was kind of my point is with AI, I'm seeing a lot of people say, hey, we're using AI selling hundreds of homes and we're doing all this social media and stuff. But in reality, it's like, how many homes have you actually sold? How many clients have you actually taken care of? What's your sales? And they don't have anything, but it's all this fluff over here. In reality, I think it's supposed to be about real estate. In the purest form, it's selling, buying, investments, flips, everything else in the middle. And that's what I like. And that's why it's nice, because you can't lie about your numbers. I mean, I guess they could, but you can't really lie about.
Yeah, most people don't know that you can look up our numbers. Like, most people don't know that you can be like, I wonder how many homes that person sold. And
Corey, like this. Let me ask you something. When you get a new agent, what do you do? When you have a home sale or a home buy, and you have the other agent on the other side that you don't know, what do you do?
I don't so much anymore, but I used to look them up and see how many homes they sold.
I still do every time.
Yeah, I used to look them up and just see how many things they've moved, because
I do every time. So explain it. I'm sorry. So sorry, I didn't mean to explain it.
Well, it can be multiple things. It can be one reason you could look up, or reason you would look them up, is to see what you're dealing with as far as competency, experience, and whether or not, and this is in my vision when I do this, is like, how much do I need to look out for spots that I might need to help them through something? And
that's a nice way to say it.
I'm not looking to coach you on anything, because it pisses me off when I have older agents like, I've been doing this for 30 years. Let me tell you how this is done. I don't want to do that. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't care how long you've been doing it. Good chances is if you've been doing it for 30 years, you don't know all the new stuff that I had to go through. So don't come at me with that. It just drives me nuts. So I look at it as a way to create a bond, or create a connection of like, hey, I see this might be missing. Did you know?
Sorry, I can tell you've been lectured before.
God, I can't tell you how many times that's happened. It's like, come on, I don't need your coaching. It's just,
All right, so my way is I look up, I want to know what I'm dealing with. So if I simply go online, we use our multiple listing service. If they're from here, if they're not, I have another way to figure out how many homes they've sold. So I look and see how many homes I've sold, total record, this and that. And I had one young lady, sold 40 million or so, not bad. Literally email me a form 35, no, what did she send me? The 21, and it was like page 5 or page 4, whatever it was it was like, hey, appliances need to work within 5 days of closing. And I said, yeah, I'm aware of that. We're not 5 days worth in closing. And second, where's the appraisal at? I haven't seen the appraisal yet because she's worried about the HVAC working. HVAC's working fine, this and that. Sent me this whole thing, and I said, thank you for sending me. And she actually found out later. So I found some more information out. I thought it was the agent. It's not the agent. It was actually the buyer's daughter that was anxiety-ridden, doing all this stuff, pushing her. She, as the agent, wasn't in control of the clients. And I had hundreds of text messages. I kid you not, like text message after text message after text message. And I just said, you cannot keep, I have like 5-6 deals going on right now today, and you're text messaging me this much, and then just going on. So finally I called her and I said, who has anxiety here? Is it you? And she's like, I didn't mean to give you anxiety. I said, no, you're not giving me anxiety. You're pissing me off because you're text messaging me and this and that, then sends me the form, or it sent me the form about the code. I'm like, I know these, I've known these forms for 10 years. I know how this works. We're not even close to that. You show me the appraisal first. It's your turn. It's like chess. It's your step. You're way overbound. Oh my God. And so that's why I look up records, because I want to know what I'm getting into, how much attention that file is going to need with the other agent, what I need to watch out for with red flags, what's everything in corresponding with that file. I know agents around here don't even need to worry. You know, we'll still watch the caveats of what to watch, protect our clients, take care of everything. But I'm not going to have to explain anything. I don't have to be like, hey, Ron, did you know this form? I'm like, fuck. I mean.
Well, to be fair, there are some, real estate's always changing. Forms are always changing. There are those moments that a form might have changed and we didn't catch it.
No, fair with that. Don't get me wrong. There's no ego here. It just.
Yeah.
I had one that said I mansplained how to do a multiple offer. And I had my wife double check it, just make sure I wasn't mansplaining, because I will check myself. I just. Military wife, agent, and my wife's like, no, that was uncalled for. That wasn't you. I'm like, thank goodness, because you never know. Just want to make sure I'm not mansplaining. Wanted to do the multiple offer thing. Didn't do it right. She lost her client $10,000 from my buyers. My buyers would have gone up $10,000 more. So that's why I was pissed. I was like, look, we would have actually won. You said you won for this price because these clients, you didn't do anything else with the multiple offer. You lost your clients $10,000. I think they're closed now. I got to check. And can you believe that? It would have taken 10 extra minutes, 2 extra phone calls, me and to the other agent, so you could do the legal stuff right. Didn't do that. Don't explain. I know how to do this. Went on a rant of a whole text. If you ever want to see that text, I don't know if I can send that out. But,
probably not.
But and I checked with my wife. My wife's like the most, you've met, my wife's the nicest person ever. So she said maybe she's being nice, but she's like, no, you weren't. That's why we look up everything. I guess, all right, forget about it. I'm getting sidetracked. All right, and last thing here, because we got to wrap this up. This is going to be the long podcast. Where do you see the market going? I mean, just with everything. If someone's coming into this podcast and they catch the last 5 minutes of this, God bless you for listening to this whole thing. It's starting to pour. Metal roof, 50-year metal roof. Love metal roofs. You can actually hear the rain, even though it's over-insulated, overbuilt, overstrapped, everything in between.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I like that. My wife wanted to hear the rain, and I agree with her. I love it now. You can hear the rain. Can't hear the wind. Nothing buffers because it's overbuilt, which is nice because it was windy as fuck yesterday. Mm-hmm. Nothing moved. Nothing buffered. It was amazing. Solid as hell, but you could hear the rain. All right.
Yeah, so the market, where is it going? With the interest rates as high as they are, and this kind of doing this little wave deal, I am still seeing that interest rates should come back down a little bit through the summer. So I think that we're going to kind of come down to this fairly decent medium where people are going to backtrack. At the beginning of February, we were at a pretty decent interest rate for what they were. and we had this flood of people like buying. Like we had all these people like, I want it, I'm ready to go because
that was the beginning. Yep.
Yeah, the beginning of February, and then like right mid to late February, the interest rates went back up, and it just completely died, and we're still kind of in that period. So what I see is the interest rates coming down again a little bit. We have that flood of people trying to get in on that market
Again.
and I don't know that we're going to see a big flood of inventory. I think we're going to keep going with this low inventory, which is unfortunate. So that'll be a little bit challenging for buyers because again, you're dealing with a low inventory, and if the home is like we talked before, if the home has some upgrades and is priced right and is a good location, you're going to have multiple offers, and then it's going to drive that price up. Great for the seller, not so much for the buyer.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of my buyers were buying now.
Yeah,
they were worried about that.
And then, as far as technology and stuff for real estate in itself, I don't see AI going anywhere as much as people would like it to. Yeah. I think it's here to stay. I think that if you are not learning about it and partaking in it now, you're going to miss out on that opportunity to take advantage of it.
As a real estate agent?
As a real estate agent, and anybody else that needs to do any type of marketing for themselves or any type of business.
What's funny, I had a real estate agent company down in Alabama. They paid a marketing company like $5,000 a month to help them market. And I said, why? I don't know. I'm just, why?
Yeah.
Not with AI, not with what we can do. $50, give me, see, you're not going to give me $50 a month because I'm going to take that $50 a month and do it myself. I'm going to work 2 hours a day for the week, and I'm going to market and do just as much as they could possibly do.
Well, and like one of the things we just listened to, and it's Adobe Firefly, where they can create whatever marketing photo or cardstock or whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Where before you would have to have some kind of, what do they call them?
You had to have the licensing and all that stuff.
Well, no, you had to have somebody that was able to draw that stuff up or create it manually on a computer, where now you just type in the computer, like, make me a picture of whatever you want. Literally, whatever you want.
Two adults taking a key ownership of a house that now you don't have to have the rights to. Right. You don't have to ask permission for, and there's your stock photo of two people getting the key for the house.
And they're like realistic.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay all the, and again, this is the unfortunate part, is it's taking away from those professionals that probably went to school for it. Now no longer have a
market. What they're going to do for a job.
Yeah, that's.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, everything can be taken away, like even real estate agents. So it's not. Thank God you and I can build homes.
Yeah, AI is not that I know of.
Not yet. I was gonna say I saw the robot doing the concrete homes, so maybe not yet. But
I mean, I can take a picture of this room and then tell it to redecorate it in a way that I want, and it'll do it.
Which is amazing. Yeah,
it still has to be done by somebody.
Yeah, so technically it hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, but it'll create that visual that you can.
Other than that, we're going to be miners, going to look for lost gold mines.
Yeah.
In the mountains. I mean, that's one nice thing I will say. For one last thing is living in Washington State. Like, I shouldn't say but living in Washington State, we can go. Corey and I have some trips. I'm going to take him hiking. We're going to look for some lost gold mines up in the Cascades. And there's lost Spanish mine up there between Mount St. Adams, Mount St. Helens. I got some maps, coordinates. We're going to have fun for a week, just getting lost in the woods. Maybe not a week, a few days.
Well, I'd prefer not to actually get lost, but...
Don't worry, with me, we will get lost. I got the GPS right here.
Perfect. I'll bring extra GPSs.
Extra food, and there's water in the creek. But, that's Washington State's beautiful because you have the ocean over here, you have the mountains, you have the woods, you have the snow, and everybody preaches about it. But in reality, when you get locals like us, my daughter and neighbor's daughter We didn't have to tell them to go outside. They were running outside in the rain, playing in the rain. Like, look, our doll's hairs are all wet and this and that. And they're just having a time. They're riding their bikes in the rain. They didn't even have rain jackets on. They had hoodies, I think. I know they had hoodies because I was watching on the security cameras while they rode the bikes around. Living here, you get used to the elements. We get used to the rain, the storms. We don't get too much snow unless you go to the mountains. And then, I mean, Johnny's been skiing like what, every day?
And I just got a National Weather Service alert that Tumwater is going to experience winter weather advisory.
So apparently we're going to be winter weather advisory, and it changes all the time. There you go. There, it just alerted me to on Alexa. And so if you want to experience, I think this is back to the Oregon Trail theme. You come from wherever you're coming from, this is still the Wild West. This is kind of the last Wild West besides Alaska. You can go to Alaska, but it's, to me, that's too much snow. That's too much Wild West.
Well, more. There's even, Montana. There's a lot of open space in Montana, those areas.
No ocean though. I want ocean.
No ocean though. Yeah.
So that's my thing is I want the ocean. I don't know. I need to be next to water. So and not just like Montana's beautiful. Been there. My wife and I talked about it. I'm like, I have to be next to ocean. There's something calling me where I have to be able to be like, and I'm out. I'm to Hawaii, Tahiti. Stuff goes. I got to jump on a boat. I don't know. Whatever it is. We have the ocean here. We have the Wild West. We have everything you can possibly imagine if you're moving here. And if you want country, Corey and I know country. If you want city, we love going to Seattle, Tacoma, city, Gig Harbor. Frick, I showed 20 homes in the last 2 days, all through every different city from Bremerton, Port Orchard, Vaughan, Gig Harbor, Edenville, Roy, Chehalis, Olympia, just kind of the whole horn. And we decided down in Olympia after everything because for $800,000 it was the nicest home out of all of them on an acre of land that they could find that was amazing. Done, ready, move-in ready. There was one in Edenville that was 5 acres, beautiful home, shop, beautiful, but it was out in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And so we said a little too far. That was it.
If you like country, we do have another podcast video that we're out actually hunting.
We were grouse hunting. I did see one. I ran in the woods. Didn't get anything. We'll be doing more of those as well because I think that's the best way to get us talking is because we're out hunting, we're driving in the woods, and even if we're not hunting, we have some homes. I got to go up in Packwood, so we'll be doing a drive up that way. We'll be going out towards the mountains where you get us talking when we're going up in the mountains, and you get to listen to us more and more. So we'll keep going with this podcast. If you have any questions, you want to hear anything, let us know. Write it down. Extremely ADD on my side, extremely centered on that side. In real estate, we both know what the hell we're doing, like extremely, and we're very OCD when it comes to our clients' listings and buyers' protection. Number one, we love contracts, making sure everything's legal, we do everything right, straightforward, and honest, and it's just taking care of you. The number one goal is getting that home that you want and getting you that money when you're ready to sell at the highest point. That I don't think there's anything else more to it than that.
Yeah, that's though I may have other listings or buyers, your specific file is my priority, and you as a person. It's not. Sure, I've got those other people, but that's multitasking that most people should be able to do.
Yep.
But yeah, you're my priority on that file. If I'm working with you to sell your home, you're my priority, and I will do everything in my power that I possibly can to, if you're a seller, to sell your home for the best price I possibly can. If you're a buyer, again, I'm going to try to get you the best price I possibly can for purchasing that home. And that I never want to make anybody feel like they are pressured into buying a home because of me. I never want you to feel that way, and I'll never pressure you into feeling like you need to list your home right away with me. I will coach you and tell you, like, this is what's happening with the market. Ultimately, it's your choice on when you decide to put that house on the market.
And that's rightfully said. And so it's just, we're here to steer the ship the best way. And to be honest, you're going to start seeing a lot more investments coming up. There's going to be a lot more, unfortunately, a lot more foreclosures I'm starting to see right now. I've had, Last week alone, a lot of investors called me about looking for investments, where to put money, wanting to buy flips and this and that. And it's going to start coming up more and more. And I've helped investors. Actually, one that bought a heck of a good chunk, 40 acres out on the ocean out there. And if they turn it into something, it's going to be huge because
Campground.
I know, right? Campground, just on the water alone, just to have a campground out there where you can go take the RV. I mean, we'll bring our travel trailer down if he opens up as a campground, has some cabins out there, is huge. And that's what my goal is as well, is all these investors are seeing foreclosures, are having all this cash because they don't want to put it other places, and they're asking, where can we put it? We research investments constantly. We drive around, look at them. We get stuff constantly off market. We have to be careful because we can't just solicit off market stuff here, but we can do one-time showings. So if the seller says, hey, if you bring me a buyer, I will do a one-time listing contract. You can go ahead and show it, and then that's legal. That's what we will do. So if you have something that you want or need that you're looking for, let us know. And we may have an off-market person that we know of, which I have tons right now.
I have one at least, and I have an investment opportunity listed currently. So
yeah, it's all over. So anyways, this is welcome to who we are. I think the rain stopped. It's starting to get sunny again. Welcome to Washington. Good podcast, good meeting.
yeah.
Okay, anything else to add?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit.
Well, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed as well. Next week, you know what? We'll do something where we tell you the ingredients and we'll make a drink. We'll have a drink with everybody.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day. Right?
Yeah.
Captain Ron?
I don't have a fancy name, just Corey.
Ron. Captain Ron. See you guys. Bye.